Hi, Jeff Blanton here with Jailbreak Leadership with a leadership thought around COVID-19, but something a little bit different, something a little more personal. My first quarter this year has not gone anything like I had planned. The day after Christmas, my wife and I, Karen, headed out to Arizona to go see my parents, who now are in the care center. Both had fallen. My dad's 90, my mom's 88. And we got there and the wheels started to fall off. My dad ended up passing in mid-January, and my mom passed later in March after we actually had moved her here to California. And out of that whole 3-month period, I had a chance to step back and reflect, but I also see how that reflection ties in very much to what's going on in this current environment, COVID-19. So I just thought I'd share a couple of thoughts of what I learned in that process and maybe how it might be helpful for what's going on for you right now. So one of the first things that I learned was, and reminded of, is that life is but a moment. It just passes like that. I remember sitting next to the bed with my dad, and I had the opportunity to be there when he actually passed. And I was just thinking, man, how fast life goes by. I remember when I was 60, I'm 64 now, and he's like, you just can't, where did life go? And it's kind of interesting because I think in the COVID-19 thing, it's almost like it took us back to our younger days where all of a sudden time slowed down a little bit. But life is just a journey. And I think the point I want to make is is going to pass, and it's going to pass faster than you can even imagine. I mean, we're already like 3, 4 weeks into the lockdown at this point. It's like, where did that time even go? So my call to you is take advantage of this moment. This is just part of life. So if you're finding an opportunity to slow down a little bit, what are you doing to make this valuable? Because your total life is going to be gone like that. The second thing was your stuff. Nobody cares about your stuff. In fact, what I saw at the end is you don't care about your stuff either. One of the biggest things I got to thank my parents for was they lived in an independent living complex. They had the end apartment, ground floor, and the big dumpster was just down the hallway from on the street for those guys. So when it came to clearing out their apartment, it made life kind of easy. But going through all that stuff, you start to realize, if you can't turn it to cash pretty quickly, for the most part, it just doesn't have much value. And again, with my folks, I remember talking to my mom about things after my dad passed, and yeah, quite honestly, you don't care. And I think, again, what does COVID-19 have to do with that? Well, all of a sudden, a lot of us are taking some financial hits, and a lot of people are already in debt and up to their ear and living from paycheck to paycheck. And why is that? Our stuff, we tend to make a little bit of money. You always want to like buy a little bit more. You got to ask yourself, just how important is all that to you? So your stuff, need to manage it. Number three, control. Control. When you die, it's sort of the final release, right? I don't know about you, but most people spend most of their life trying to control the situation. The world's model of success is all about security, right? Go get a good job, make some good money, go get yourself a position of power so you get some authority. And all this is very fear-based. And if you do good with one and two, you can go buy a bunch of, number two, a bunch of stuff. And so when you get to the end, all of a sudden, as you get older, you lose more and more control, depending on other people take care of you. And then there's like this final moment where you give up the ultimate control. And I think that's what COVID-19's done for us a little bit here. We got these plans, we're doing this stuff, and all of a sudden we find ourselves in like, whoa, we don't control this. What does this look like? And it sends us for a real spin and throws us into a fear factor. I think we need to learn to live in that environment that we really don't have much control. And that is what it is in the end. So the sooner that we can start to learn how to manage that, the better off we're going to be. And then number four, the legacy. The legacy. What are you leaving behind? And more importantly, like, what are you leaving in people, right? Again, no one really cares that much about your stuff, but what did you do in your lifetime that people will remember? What did you sow into folks? I've seen this thing several times now around leadership in this COVID-19, and it goes back to World War II. They said, what did you do during the war? So people are looking at leaders, they're looking at companies, and they're saying, what kind of person were you? What kind of leader were you? Was it all about you and all about hoarding and getting yours? Or were you concerned about everyone else, your customers, your employees? How are you treating people in this environment? Very, very important. You're creating your legacy as we speak. And the last piece, it's the big final outcome. It's that moment. It's when you kind of cross over the line. And it is sort of that ultimate letting go. For me, it was kind of a really interesting experience. I'm a guy of faith. So I believe in some positive things on the other side. And I truly, in this case, had a very, very positive experience with both my parents passing away that just really confirmed for me it's going to be okay on the other side. And I would say that's going to be true of COVID-19. This is just part of our journey. Do the things you need to be doing, and you're going to come out okay on the other side. So I don't know if this was helpful or not, but I stepped back after my parents had passed and wanted to think about what did I learn. And then next thing, this thing showed up, COVID-19, and I see a lot of parallels. So hopefully this was helpful. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button. Want to see some more videos, hit the subscribe button. This is Jeff Blanton with Jailbreak Leadership saying, go do what you do, because we're all counting on